Welcome, everybody, to the July 5th, 2023 Finance Committee meeting. Hope everybody had a good 4th of July. Some housekeeping notes. If you have a cell phone, please make sure it is on mute or vibrate. Those who want to make public comment, approach the podium and please introduce yourself when I give the direction to do so. And we have Councilman Seagrave pinch hitting for Dr. Aldridge today. He's on Zoom, and Mr. Escabel is on Zoom as well. With that, Jen, please read the first item on the agenda.
Number 6B, application for a bar and grill liquor license filed with the city clerk's office for Wyoming Downs OTB 14 LLC, doing business as Wyoming Downs OTB 14 LLC, 1345 Del Range Boulevard, Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Staff report.
Mr. Chair, Chris Jones, City Clerk, the bar and grill liquor license application before you has been reviewed by the city departments and Wyoming Liquor Division staff. The establishment plans to continue their current operations and would like to offer alcoholic beverages to their customers, and I'd stand for any questions.
Thanks, Chris. Stand by. Questions for Chris?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Roybal.
the bar and grill licenses that we currently have assigned to different places. With this one, part of the 60% can go with entertainment, right?
Mr. Chair, through you, to Mr. Roybal, it's my understanding that effective July 1st, all bar and grill have the option to be entertainment as
Okay.
well, and or food 60-40 split.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for Chris? Hearing none. Comments from the public? Press the button and then the red light should come on.
Okay,
There
perfect.
you go.
Thank you. I'm a newbie.
I understand.
Good morning. My name is Tracy Laycock. I'm legal counsel for Wyoming Downs. And I'm here today to present the liquor license application for OTB 14, which is the Del Range location. Just a couple of matters. I did submit a PowerPoint to the entire council for the first reading. I do have copies if anybody would like a copy here today. You are correct, Councilman Roybal. Starting July 1st, the 60-40 split can be entertainment, food, or a combination of both. Just a few matters. Wyoming Downs does tips train all of its employees, even at its facilities that do not allow alcohol, just because of the nature of the entertainment. So all of our employees are tips trained. If this liquor license is passed, that facility at Del Range will become a 21 and older facility. We have other locations in Wyoming that serve alcohol and have found that's the best way to ensure that, we don't have any underage drinking. Additionally, at that facility, I don't know if anyone's ever been there, but right when you walk in the door, there's a desk, a check-in desk. And that can be used to check IDs. And then, of course, everyone is trained through TIPS training as well. Currently, we offer a snack bar and non-alcoholic beverages at the facility. Given the time frame that the liquor license, if approved on July 10th, finally, we would anticipate starting to sell alcoholic beverages around the end of August, beginning of September. And I'm happy to stand for any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Laycock. Any questions for Tracy? Hearing none. Other comments from the public? Hearing none. Do I have a motion from the committee?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Comments from the committee? The chair has just one question. Chris, if this is approved by council, how many more bar and grill licenses will be available?
Mr. Chair, that would be five that are unspoken for
Great.
if this one's approved.
Thanks. If there are no other questions from committee, all those in favor of the application, please signify by saying aye.
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 No one's opposed. That item moves forward. Next item, please.
Number 23, resolution, amending resolution 6094, the City of Cheyenne Comprehensive Consolidated Plan 2020 to 2024 and 2020 Annual Action Plan prepared by the Cheyenne Housing and Community Development Office.
Sorry, staff report.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Renee Smith, the Grants Manager, and I'm representing the Cheyenne Housing and Community Development Office today. As you know, the City of Cheyenne receives CDBG funding every year from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. In 2020, the city also received CDBG CV funding, which is COVID funding that has to be spent by the year 2026. CV funds for 3 approved projects were returned or canceled over the last couple of years, totaling $67,000. So the advisory council voted to open another grant cycle. So per the city citizen participation plan, any additional project over the amount of $25,000 requires an amendment to our plan. A notice of funding available was published. 3 applications were received. The advisory council recommends funding the following 2 proposals. Climb Wyoming requested $20,000 for healthcare job training to provide medical training for low-income single mothers. And Comia requested $47,225 toward the expansion of the women's dorm. The consolidated plan and annual action plan for program year 2020 was amended. A 30-day comment period was held requesting input from Cheyenne residents. There were no written comments received, and I'm here to answer any questions about this.
Thanks, Renee. Stand by. Questions for Renee? Thank you. Comments from the public? Hearing none, do I have a motion from the committee?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Comments from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor of the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
No one's opposed. That item moves forward. Next item, please.
Number 28, resolution authorizing the submission of an application by the City of Cheyenne for federal funding through the Transportation Alternatives Program administered by the Wyoming Department of Transportation for the purpose of construction for a greenway path for pedestrians and bicycles from the Sun Valley Open Space into Kiwanis Community Park.
Staff report. Mr. Bloom.
And Chair, members of the committee, Charles Bloom, Planning and Development Director, presenting for Jeannie Vetter. She is on vacation today. This is a TAP grant application for one of our most desirable greenways we're looking for at the present time. This would link the College Drive Greenway, the greenway that's located near Sun Valley, just east of College Drive, near the Union Pacific Railroad. This would provide design services for linkage to the new East Park. The goal is to go through the Sun Valley open space. This is the detention area south of the eastern or the western area of Sun Valley, and then along the properties adjacent to the railroad, between the community and the railroad. As you all are aware, we have been working on property acquisition in that area for quite some time. So this is just one more piece of the puzzle to get that final design done. This total estimated cost for the project is $2,014,762. This is a TAP grant, so there is a city match. That city match is just over $1 million at approximately 52% of the entire cost. That will come out of 6-penny funding. The TAP grant is going to cover just under 50% at $1 million. This resolution is required to be passed prior to submission of the grant. The submission of the grant is due on July 17th of 2023. I'm open for any questions that you may have regarding this item.
Thanks, Charles. Questions for Mr. Bloom? Hearing none. Comments from the public? Hearing none. Do I have a motion from the committee?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Comments from the committee? And just let the record show that Mr. Escabel is currently present now in person, not Zoom. So all those in favor of this resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No, no one's opposed. That item moves forward. Next item.
Number 29K, memorandum of understanding between the Cheyenne Historic Preservation Board and the Cheyenne Masonic Building Association regarding the fulfillment of the match requirement for the Wyoming State Historic Preservation Office certified local government grant awarded to the Cheyenne Historic Preservation Board for a building assessment of the Masonic Temple.
Staff report.
Chair through you, Bonnie Olson, Planning and Development Office. Before you is an MOU that just specifies who's going to do the grant match. The Cheyenne Historic Preservation Board on April 5th received a grant from the Wyoming State Historic Preservation Office to do this building assessment. And this pretty much just outlines that the Cheyenne Masonic Building Association will be responsible for the grant match and that the city will be overseeing the process of the grant, just all the paperwork.
Thank you, Lonnie. Questions for Mr. Olson? Mr. Royball.
The Historic Association is assessing the building. What are we assessing it for?
Chair through you to Mr. Roybal. So this is to look, the Cheyenne Masonic Building Association is looking at doing some adaptive reuse to the building to allow for other areas to be used by other entities of the public to hopefully make it where they can retain their building to still be a temple, but get some more revenue as membership has been declining. So it's harder to raise dues, and so they're looking at other ways that they could make money and still retain the building. And this would include also ADA access.
Okay, thank you.
Great question. Other questions for Mr. Olson? Hearing none, comments from the public.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, welcome, sir.
members, my name is Kelly Davis. I'm a member of the Cheyenne Masonic Building Association, the board that owns the building. And it's taken years for us to get to this position that we're going to lose the building just through the drop of membership and the rising cost of maintaining it. So something has to be done. This is a building that was built in 1901. It burned in 1903. And is rebuilt. It's a historic building. It's on the National Register. It's, right halfway between the Capitol building and the train depot. We hate to see this thing lost, turned into another surface level parking lot. So there's been discussion for years, too many years, about what to do. And finally, it's come to the head where we didn't have enough money to pay the bills. Okay, unless we do something. About that same time, a friend of mine during the legislative session said that his association needed a place to meet, for a cocktail party or whatever. And they didn't want to go out to Little America and pay the fee for that. He said, we're ideally located. Only problem is we've got some accessibility problems. That's the big one. Then there's the issue of getting the kitchen up to grade and the furnace. And once those are done, the bathrooms, then the path is the door is open, let's say. All the rooms are available for public use in that building, except for one, and that's the Masonic Temple itself, the lodge room. And that's only when we're in lodge. People can go in there and take a look. It's a public, we got a theater that's underused. I mean, a theater with $1 million worth of drop scenery, like 50 different scenes we can have in there. We don't want to lose this. I don't think the community wants to lose this. The step is to get an assessment. After we get the assessment of where we're at, then we can start going after funding. So I'd appreciate your consideration of this. If anybody is interested, I do have copies of the 1984 application for the National Historic Register, and it indicates who all have been members. We talk about maybe putting a museum in there, an art gallery. There's all sorts of different things. It's wide open as to what we end up doing, but we got to figure out where we're at. We appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for the information. Want to leave a copy of that with our
That I will.
Administrator Jen. She will get that out to the rest of us. Great information there. Other comments from the public? Hearing none, do I have a motion from the committee?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve in an amount of $18,000.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Comments from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor of this memorandum of understanding, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
No one's opposed. That item moves forward. Thank you again, sir. Next item, please.
Number 29L, purchase and sale agreement between the city of Cheyenne and Giselle Whitney LLC for the future Story Boulevard right-of-way, 2023 to 2026 optional 1% tax fund.
Staff report.
Good morning, Mr. White, members of the Finance Committee, Tom Cobb, City Engineer. So before you and for your consideration is the purchase and sale agreement between the City of Cheyenne and Giselle Whitney LLC. As indicated in the description, this was for future right-of-way securing and also for a future detour that we're going to need for approximately 5 different projects over the next 5 years. With that being said, the estimated cost at this particular point is $516,780 by the appraisal. I also put up another $4,000 for closing and title commitment and $35,000 for fencing. The total cost not to exceed price is $555,780. And if you'll take a look on my memo on the second page, you can kind of see the layout. I've laid out those projects and how they're going to lay out over the next 4 or 5 years. And we're looking at this one is trying to get this thing started grading actually in the fall of this year for this Story Boulevard extension. That's at the top of the map. Then we have the Van Buren Storm Sewer, which I also want to get started for, and that's the blue line that's indicated in the fall of 23. Then WIDOT will come in with US 30, which is in 24. Then we have what I'm considered the west half of Del Range with Van Buren to College in 25. And then last but not least is basically the Del Range and Whitney Road project, which will be in 26. So you can see this area is going to be inundated with construction activity, and it's going to be so important for those subdivisions to the north to be able to outlet to the west. I mean, to the west. So with that, I'll take any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Cobb. Stand by. Questions for Mr. Cobb? Hearing none. Comments from the public?
Don't see me.
No.
Oh,
Welcome, Mr. White.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, Michael White. I guess I've been waiting a long time for this to come on the agenda. Mr. Cobb's been very helpful. I actually live out in that area. I'm concerned with the city spending money for a detour for US 30 and also buying property that the Giselle Whitney owns, the LLC company, to build a road, and city funds using to buy county property. I realize over the last few months, we have addressed the official map of the city of Cheyenne, which says that from College Drive to Whitney, that road would be the detour road. And I'm happy to say that I'm not in favor of this at all. Currently in front of one property, which would be the Lyle Gadbury property, there is a wetland area. I have spoken with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, but unless there is some sort of a species in that wetland area, which currently there is water in that wetland. But to be able to come from Highland Road back up to the Giselle property, Whitney Giselle property, and then back into, eventually back into Whitney Road. There's a number of neighbors that I hope will come to the next council meeting, but in regards to this, that's my concern, and thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Cobb?
Chairman White, I just wanted to add that I forgot to and failed to mention, which is a mistake on my part. But obviously, when this moves forward, we're going to ask for full reimbursement from the developer of this property for all of the money, including the land purchase. And that will be also with the inflated cost. So whenever they come in and do this, they're going to have to pay the new construction price, not today's. So that inflation cost will be added onto the reimbursement value. So the city will get its full money back.
Thank you for that clarification. Other comments from the public? Hearing none, do I have a motion from the committee?
Mr. Chairman,
Move to approve.
the amount of.
I think we need to do, if we're gonna have the motion, I need to have the amount that's listed there.
To not to exceed $555,780.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. Comments from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor of this purchase and sale agreement, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No, opposed? No one's opposed. That item moves forward. Next item, please.
Number 29M, utility easement agreement between the city of Cheyenne and the Board of Public Utilities for installation and maintenance of a water main on city-owned property.
Staff report.
Chairman White, members of the Finance Committee, this is a pretty simple easement agreement. It's for a BOPU water main that runs through a detention pond. So hence, that's why you see me here. There is no transfer of money. I'm not sure why it is at finance, but it's in front of you. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you. Questions for Mr. Cobb? Hearing none, comments from the public? Hearing none, do I have a motion from the committee?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve.
second,
It's been moved and seconded. Comments from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor of this utility easement agreement, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
No one's opposed. That item moves forward. We don't have any other items on the agenda today. However, before I adjourn the meeting, I just wanted to congratulate Mr. Tom Mason, who will be concluding his career after a very long and distinguished years at the as heading the MPO. I think your last day is this Friday. So good luck and congratulations in your retirement. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.